Hi, I'm Paul the DIY Guy, and welcome to my nerd crafting vlog. Now, it's possible you've noticed, or perhaps you've heard me mention it before, but I really love tabletop games. And as somebody who loves tabletop games, I tend to get a lot of the expansions for games, but there's not always an easy way for the expansions to all go in the same box. And I found this problem especially true when it came to Small World. But fear not, I have a solution. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your very own Small World insert. Check it out. You're going to need the following: a sheet of 3/16 foam core, the pattern, available on my website, link will be in the doobly-doo, some white glue, utility knife, X-Acto knife, a ruler. If you have a metal one, I'd recommend using it, since the utility knife can accidentally cut the plastic one. This tool is called a rabbet cutter. It lets you easily notch out the corners of your foam core for a nice interlocked fit. And you'll need some sewing pins. First thing you need to do is cut out all the pieces in the quantities labeled on the pattern. To start assembly off, we're going to start building out the 2 trays for holding the different races. To do this, take 2 of the long skinny pieces with teeth, and enough of the 13 skinny pieces with teeth to fill all the holes. Put a drop of glue in each of the joints, and put the piece across both the long strips. Repeat this until all the holes have been filled in. Take the rabbet cutter and cut both sides of the short strips. This will help give your tray a nice looking corner. Next, find the larger sized board that matches up with the lattice you just made, and using some pins, tack a short and long edge to the board. We'll use this to make sure the lattice is in the correct location. Next, put some glue along the entire bottom of your lattice and put it on the large piece. Secure this in place by pinning the other 2 edge pieces to the main board. Let the lattice dry into place, then remove the pins and glue the outer pieces on. Pin these in place and let the tray dry. For the other tray, the steps are almost exactly the same, but we're going to be adding a small channel at one end. Tack 2 edges on as before, glue and place the lattice onto the board. For this one, you may need to pin the lattice onto the board to get it to stay in place. And be careful not to stab your fingers. Next, we're going to put an end cap on. This is the slightly shorter skinny piece that you cut out. Pin and glue this to the open end of the lattice, and then let those pieces dry. Lastly, for the second tray, you need to glue on all the outer edges, just like the last tray. Your second tray should look like this when it's done. Now it's time to put the last box together. Find the 2 short and long edge pieces that match the width and height of the largest piece of foam core. Using the rabbet cutter, cut 3 of the edges on both of the short pieces, and on one of the long edges of the long pieces. This will allow the pieces to overlap the bottom of the box as well as the corners. Like before, you need to start by tacking on a short and a long piece. To build the inner boxes, start with the piece that has 2 teeth cut out of it, and glue the 2 shorter pieces with teeth holes into it. Next, find the piece that's the same length as the 2 short pieces you just put on, but one without teeth, and glue that onto the ends of the lattice. It should go on as close to the middle as you can get it, and then pin this piece into place. Next, take the longest piece you have left, and line it up with the other end of the lattice along the right hand side. I used a spare edge piece to help me get this in the right spot. Then pin and glue this piece on. This is what it should look like so far. Next, take the piece that's slightly shorter than the edge pieces, and glue and pin it to the bottom of your structure, lining up the left-hand edges. Rather than waiting until the end this time, I glued the 2 edge pieces onto the main board now. This will let you glue the structure we just made directly onto the edges. You can now glue the structure onto the main board. The long channel should be on the right-hand side, then pin it into place. Next, take one of the 2 smallest pieces left and glue 3 sides. Make sure you've got a ruler handy, since you'll need to measure out where this piece goes. Measure 4.5 inches down the channel and place your piece so that it closes off this part of the channel. For the second small piece, glue 3 sides again and split the remaining channel into 2 sections as evenly as you can. This will be for holding coins, so it doesn't have to be exact. And make sure to pin both of these in place. Lastly, glue the 2 outer edges of the box on, and you're done. And that is all there is to it. Okay, now this tabletop insert gets most of the pieces from most of the expansion packs in. I couldn't figure out how to get the realms all in the same box. Now it's pretty tightly packed in there, so I wasn't able to get all of the expansions. I leave out the realms expansion, and it really only fits 1 or 2 boards at the top at a time, so you have to decide what you're going to play ahead of time if you just want to take 1 box. And if you'd like to make your very own, the pattern will be available on my website. The link will be in the doobly-doo. Now if you'd like to know how all the pieces fit inside of the box, make sure to check out my main channel, and I will put a video up explaining exactly how to do that. And I know there's going to be a bunch of tabletop gamers out there, so what about you? Have you put your own inserts together before? And if so, for which game? Let me know down in the comments. Now this craft, like most of the crafts I do here, are pretty cheap to put together, and if you're looking for more tips and tricks on how to be geeky on a budget, make sure to check out 2 Broke Geeks. They got you covered. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more crafty goodness, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you again in a fortnight, and until then, stay crafty, my friends.